us to, visualize the data efficiently means, suppose for example, you imagine that you are having a spreadsheet, which is a spreadsheet or a data set, which is in the form of a CSV file, no matter what it is. So you have a spreadsheet which is having around 1 lakh records, which means 1 lakh rows of data is there in your data set. You are feeling that this 1 lakh row of data is not necessary for you to do the visualization, because you wanted to take some samples of your data and then you wanted to do a visualization, because that is enough for you to, to display what is happening in your organization. Your use case is in this manner, and you wanted to have a limited amount of data, because when you have a limited amount of data, the type of explanation you're going to give with respect to the data will become more efficient. And also the people who are looking at your visualization can understand the visualization properly. So with all of these things in mind, you decide that instead of having 1 lakh rows in my visualization, I decide that I'm going to have 1,000 rows in my visualization. So how do I, do this? How do I achieve this process? So ultimately, what you are aiming for is that the aim is that you have a complete set. The complete set is basically your 1,000 rows of records. From this complete set of 1,000 rows of records, you wanted to get only the 1 lakh record is set, and from this 1 lakh record of data, you wanted to obtain only the 1,000 rows of data, which you can consider as a subset of your complete set. So the overall objective of why we are going for a concept like filter is, this is what we wanted to achieve it. So you wanted to work with a subset of your data. So to achieve this process, basically what you're using is that filters. So Tableau help us to achieve this process by making use of a concept called as filters. So now what is the meaning of a filter? So filter, as generic as it is, like, generally filter means like, getting, from the impurities, you filter out all the impurities and get the pure thing. So the same idea here, you're going to basically refine your data. Okay. So that refined data is what you're going to use it for your visualization. So this is the meaning of a filter. Now that we got an idea that what is the meaning of a filter, it is important for us to understand how we can actually make use of the filter in our Tableau. Okay. So before that, I just wanted to mention you that Tableau supports different set of filters. You have extract filters, you have data source filters, you have context filters, you have dimension filters, measure filters, and then table calculation filters. So these are the different types of filters which you can actually use it, to get any sort of subset from your actual set. So now let's get inside our Tableau environment and explore how you can actually make use of these different types of filters. All right. So let us get into our Tableau environment. So as you can see here, already our data source, which is our Superstore data source, is already there in place. Okay. So first thing what I wanted to show you is that if you go to your data source, basically, you have the filter option here itself. Okay. So when it comes to, when you click on add, you can actually specify the filters. But let me just update the rows here. Okay. So once it is updated, you can actually go ahead and filter. So you can add a filter from here. So you say, for example, for an order ID, I just wanted to do a filter. So what sort of filter you wanted to give, whether it is a custom value list or use all of things, anything like, you can enter the text to search or add, you can just give it, and then you can actually go on and perform the excluding operations, and you just give here and then add it. Okay. So this is one way you can actually make use of the filter, and this is what you call it as a data source filters. Okay, so what happens in a data source filter is basically, what happens is that you try to apply your filter in uh, see, it is like, if before you apply the worksheet itself, moving to the worksheet itself, you can apply the filter. Okay, so we generally, when this will be useful means, this will be useful when we wanted to filter out all of the unnecessary data at the beginning itself. Okay, so if you see here, there are two things here. One is a live filter also you can apply, and there are an extract filter also. Okay, so you can select any one of these things to apply your filter. As of now, it is in live. Okay, so the major difference between your live and the extract source filters is that, uh, see, if you will use the result of the data source filter will be visible instantly. However, the filter result of the extract is visible only after moving to a worksheet tab. Okay, so in extract it will be visible instantly, whereas in a in a live it is going to be visible instantly, whereas in an extract it is going to be visible only at the after you move to your worksheet tab. That's how it is using. Okay, so this is about the data source filter. Now let's get inside our worksheet basically. So in your worksheet, you can actually apply your filters. There are different types of filters which we have to actually explore on. First thing is that dimension filter. So when I talk about a dimension filter, most of the time the dimension filter is something which you will be using it for the non-aggregate columns. So what do you mean by non-aggregate columns is that you will not have a numerical value. Rather, it is going to be a categorical value. For example, in our case, it is going to be your segment is there, and your location is there. So if you take all of these things, this is called as a categorical value. Okay, so customer name is there, that is again a categorical value. So in this you can actually filter it according to the categories. Okay, so if I take customer name, now how I can make use of it, let us see. Now if I take customer name and I'm just dragging it to the filters place, so immediately what I get is I get this one. Okay, so I can select from the list which I wanted to filter it. Okay, so one of 793 values has been selected. Just apply it. Okay, and then click on OK. So let us just move this here. Okay, so you can see that, like, I mean, the customer name is being filtered out. So let me just put it here one more time, and let me just select only a few values here. Okay, okay, see, you can actually understand that there are two values whichever I selected, that only got displayed in the visualization or in the view. Okay, so this is some of the way or this is the way actually you can make use of your dimension filter. And let me just remove once again to just explore on whichever options is available. So again, you have this, so you can select only all values in the database or only relevant values in the database. And if you want to select something and you just wanted to exclude only that part, you can always do that. Okay, so now you have all of the things. Let me just apply here. Okay, then you are getting all of the things. So you just select Aaron Hawkins and then exclude that. Okay, so that alone will be removed. Okay, so you cannot see Aaron Hawkins in your data. Okay, so this is one more way you can actually make use of the filters. You can actually select a specific value and then you can decide to if you wanted to exclude that one or not. Okay, so this is some through which you can actually understand the dimension filters. Then one more important thing that you need to know is that measurement filter. See, measurement filter is something which you will be using it on a measure, which means where you're going to have an aggregate values. Say, for example, your balance is there. In our case, it is profit is there and then sales is there. So let me just drag the sales here. Okay, so as soon as I drag the sales here, I just can see a window. This window is telling that how do you want to filter on the sales, based on an average or based on a median, on what basis you wanted to perform the filter, it is asking. So if I will select as median, then this next button is getting highlighted for me. So if I will just click on the next button, then you can see here there are few things here. You can specify the range of values, what should be the minimum and the maximum value if in case if it is for a median. Okay, so otherwise you have an option like at least it should be like this value should be there, and then you have an utmost option like maximum at least this much should be there. And there are also special kind of filtering that you can perform. Filter only the null values you can do, or exclude some of the null values, and or exclude all of the values. So any kind of special um, selection, if you wanted to do it, you can go ahead and perform those selection. Okay, so this is the way how you can actually perform filtering on your measure. So what is the meaning of at least is, at least we need to at least provide one starting point. Okay, and also at most we need to provide at least the end point. And then special, you can choose between null, non-null and all the values. Okay, so that's the way you can actually make use of your so let us just keep range of value as this one, and then click on apply, and then click on OK. Okay, so uh, yeah, so let me just put the sales here. Okay, so this is the sales which is there, and let me just remove this, and then I'm going to again do the sales, and maybe based on a count which is distinct I'm going to do it, and then next at least. Okay, and you can select whether it is a relevant values or values in the database. You can include your null values if you wanted to do it. And yeah, so this is the way you can actually make use of your filters. Okay, and yeah, so this is one filter which is called as your measure filter. And there are also options like quick filter. So quick filter is basically a custom filter, and this is something which you will be using it only if you wanted to quickly visualize the filter data with some single or multiple value list. Okay, so how do I apply this quick filter means, first of all, to apply the quick filter, you need to have a measure or a dimension in the filter shelf. Okay, so we already have it. Then you just have to right click on it. Okay, then you will have an option called as show filter. Just click on the show filter. See here, it will automatically show that show filter option will be coming here. So you can actually this is because, just let me remove this. Okay, so let me just put a filter for sales itself. Okay, so let me just put the filter. Okay, and no need. So let us just click on it, and then just go ahead to show filter. Okay, so you can just specify here itself. Okay, you can see that there is a variations which is happening. Okay, so you can quickly do the task in with the visualization itself. You can actually start doing the task. Okay, so instead of this, if you have this is a measure actually. So instead of a measure, if I will have maybe a product I will have, which is categorical. So if I will have a product, so let me just remove these two things. Okay, just removing these two things. And once I have removed, I'm just going to put the product alone in my columns. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show the filter. Okay, see here, so you can uncheck it. Okay, and furniture is gone. Technology, if I uncheck it, technology is gone. Okay, so this is the way you can actually make use of quick filters. Okay, So you can actually click on the type of the filter by clicking the down arrow button, which is there. Here it is there, right? So you can click on it and then you can proceed with the things. And also you can see here, there are multiple options here also. The single value list, single value drop down. How do you want it? You can select that as well. Okay. So this is one thing. And one more filter. This is what you call it as a custom filter or a quick filter. Okay. So getting inside our Tableau, so we discussed about our extract or the data source filters. Both will happen at your data source. We saw that. And dimension filters, we saw it. And then measure filters also, we have seen it. And we need to discuss about your context filters. Okay, so context filters, let us just get inside and see what is the meaning of a context filter. Okay, so see, filtering is something which you will be using it whenever you wanted to access all the data in the data source independently. So, you can actually perform your search independently. That's the meaning of a filtering, right? For example, if you want to filter the department according to the employee, at that time we can actually filter out the employees belonging to a different department. So this will help us to have a very small database. Okay. So if we have a data of multinational companies are there, and they are having around more than 20K employees, at that time context filter in Tableau is the right choice to use. Okay, so I hope you got an idea on why exactly we need to have a context filter. Okay, so you have more amount of data, and then you just wanted to filter out the employees belonging to a specific data department or something like that, you wanted to do it, then the context filter is the right choice. Okay, so now let us try to create the context filter. Okay, we will keep the category itself for the context filter. Okay, but let me just remove it, and then let me just put the category. Yeah, let me just put the sum of the sales is, let me just put it in my column, and then I will put my category, okay, which is my product, and then I just wanted to keep my subcategory. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, so this is what is the visualization I wanted to have it. Okay, so what we have done is that we have just opened our sample superstore data, and then we have dragged the measure sales to our columns, and then the subcategory dimension which is there in my rows. Now we are able to see the bar chart. Okay, now what we will do is we will try to add the filter to the subcategory. Okay, so for what we will try to add the subcategory means, say for example, you just click on this one. Okay, and then it is showing show header, dimension, all of these things is there, right? So if we will click on when we click on the filter, basically, okay, so just click on the filter. Okay, so that this filter window is already available there for you. Now what you can do is that we have an options to select. Okay, so so we just wanted to find out, top 10 or something like that you wanted to find out, or we can actually select on, you just wanted to have furniture, office supply. Yeah, okay, custom value list, I just wanted to have it. I will just say top 10. Okay, okay, so yeah, so there is a category office supplies. Okay, and you can see that it is creating an category called as an office supply, which is having the top 10 values. Okay, so we have I mean, you can select any one of the category that you wanted to do it. Like if you want to have a furniture or a technology, you can actually select that also. Okay, so then the category filter name is actually will get changed if I uncheck my office supplies and then furniture and technology and click on apply. So you can see that the value is getting changed here. Okay, so that's the idea of how you can actually make use of your context filters basically. Okay, so I think most of the cases, like, all the filters behaved the same, in fact speaking. And a very important thing is, like, when you try to add the filters based on the context, it do make some sense. When you have to deal with the data, like, employees data, like you wanted to find out the top 10 employee category, you wanted to find out. So for all these things, naturally my context filter is going to be useful for me. Okay, so that's the reason why we looked into the context filters. So we have actually explored the different types of filters that is available in Tableau. Hope you had an understanding about what is the meaning of filters in Tableau, and how it is actually helping us to, you know,